Greetings, friends. Here's the story. In 2020, after participating in the art challenge for Parachutes 20, I decided to create a Coldplay album art booklet. Each album had its own piece in the booklet. Of course, when I made this in 2020, there were 8 Coldplay albums. Now there are 9. I'm in the process of creating a new art booklet that I'll put up on my Patreon as a free download, just like the other one, which is still available, by the way. Patreon.com/CariboAnimation. You can go download that. This new booklet centers solely on Music of the Spheres, with one drawing to represent each song on the album. Therefore, I've split this project into 4 chunks of 3 drawings with a video for each chunk, mostly in the hopes that I actually edit the videos together this time. Yeah, it's been working, and well, I actually finished. I mean, the final round of drawings is complete. The booklet still needs to be assembled, exported, and uploaded, but the end is so very near. Haha. And it feels great, by the way. It's amazing to see all this work coming together. I'm very excited to show you. This round was Human Heart, Music of the Spheres 1, and Coloratura. So I saved the first and last for the very end because I wanted them to be bookend pieces. They're the start and the end of this pseudo journey that happens throughout the booklet. I wanted to do them together and also do them at the very end, so I've already established what everything in the middle is going to be. That would help me to make a better beginning and ending. That's my thought anyway. So even in this round, I started with Human Heart. Now, what are these frogs doing in here? It seems very different from every other drawing in this booklet so far, right? If you've seen the other ones. Well, last year, I made an animation for the song Human Heart, the last minute of it. It was part of an animation class that I teach. I did the project along with my students. And these frog scientist characters were in that, so I thought, you know what? I'd love to just reuse them for this drawing. That's what I did. I think they are cute. This one, I feel like, throughout this whole thing, I've had certain drawings here and there that feel so different to the other ones that I've done previously. Like, I remember I was worried about My Universe. I think I was maybe a little worried about Beautiful or Humankind, or some of those that feel like, oh, is this gonna fit in with everything? I do feel like actually this one kind of seems the most different stylistically, and I'm not sure why, because it's all the same color palette still. I'm not really using blend modes that change the colors up too much, but I think maybe it's partly to do with the fact that every other drawing has some elements that have line art, and this one does too, but it's a background element that's kind of blurred, the frog scientists, and the main foreground object doesn't have any line. It's just solid blocks of color. So maybe that changes it. I don't know, but I think it's fine. When I look at all the pieces together, it doesn't really stand out in a bad way, and it kind of works. This is like the center of the album, I mean, it's 12 songs, so it's split evenly, but it's still kind of like a central piece. So I think it works. Now, in the video that I made with the frog scientists, I had a human heart that they were observing. And you may or may not have noticed in my original sketch, I had a frog scientist looking at a human heart through a microscope. And I decided that I didn't want to draw the heart, a more realistic human heart. And I didn't want to draw a microscope. So instead I opted for this heart symbol shaped crystal ball type object. So these scientists are looking into this kind of display. And the view of it inside is supposed to mimic the drawing that will come just before this one in the booklet, which is for Let Somebody Go. So that's the 2 hands reaching for each other and the electricity between them. So it's not necessarily an exact representation of that, but just meant to kind of reference it to bring, transition between the two to have that concept. So it'll be sort of like we see the two hands reaching, and then this is maybe a kind of zoom out to see the frog scientist observing it through the heart-shaped crystal ball thing. I don't know what it is actually, but that's what I imagined it to be. I don't know what it would look like in 3D space, but I'm kind of thinking about the heart pieces from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I feel like those had the right kind of shape for this sort of thing. So overall, this one took me like a while to do, I think, just because there's so much to it. And trying to draw curves. I think I used the brush that's called Your New Favorite Inker or something like that for this one. It's not great for getting straight lines. Partly because even if you put smoothing on, brushes that can very easily change line width as you put more or less pressure on, like the more sensitive those brushes are, the harder it is to get good looking straight edges. Because even if you can draw in a more straight line, which I have a lot of trouble with anyway, you might accidentally push down harder or softer in some parts, and that gives you that kind of wavy edge. But it looks fine in the end. I really like the tube, how that came out on the bottom, the blue tube. It's supposed to be like the galaxy running through that as well. I don't know how clear that comes through in the drawing. That's probably my favorite part of the drawing, apart from the reflections that are on the heart. Yeah, well, it came out pretty well, I think. It's not my favorite, but then again, the song's not my favorite on the album either, so it's okay. Next up, in the last round of drawings, when I did the sketches for People of the Pride and Infinity Sign together, I did those together because I was hesitant to start either one. This time I did the sketches for the remaining two drawings, Music of the Spheres 1 and Coloratura, at the same time so that I could get in the headspace of doing both of them together and see if there was anything that can tie them together as well. And like I said, it just felt so successful the last time that I did it, so why not do it for this time? Because they're supposed to be more related to each other. Now, I say that, but looking at the finished pieces, they look nothing alike. But still, that's what I did. I drew them separately. I didn't really have to change much at all about the original sketches. It was really just a matter of redrawing and refining because I had these characters in there and they were really just stick figures. No facial features, just very basic limbs and such. So that was the big thing for both of the sketches. And for Music of the Spheres 1, I really needed to nail down the rocket ship as well. In Coloratura, most of the piece is just spheres, so there's not really much to sketch out. It was really just the characters. And oh my god, those hands in the Coloratura sketch. I'll talk about that more for the line art, but my god. Just rough. I need to practice drawing hands. Maybe that's my next task. So, Music of the Spheres 1. Let's talk about Music of the Spheres 1. Now, did I insert myself in this thing? Well, it's not me, you know? It's not me, but it's not me. So, at some points, I just got tired of making new human character designs. And so, I just drew what I know best, which is looks pretty similar to me. But it's not me, you know? It's not me, but it's not me. Let's just say that. So anyway, since the idea for the entire booklet is a journey from start to end, it's just not a very structured or linear journey, I wanted the first and last to be bookends. And so this one, being the first song, is the start of everything. So the concept for it is the ideas coming out, the imagining of this journey that we're about to go on through the booklet, which is represented by the rocket. So it's shooting out from the imagination and swirling away into the distance of the galaxy. Yeah. Now, this drawing is probably the brightest and most pastel adjacent of the entire series, which is wild to me. It's so interesting to see how, because like I've mentioned, I'm using the same 5 colors in every single drawing for this project. The only thing different I do from drawing to drawing is using different blend modes, layering colors in different ways and blending them with different blend modes to get different looks. Now, for the most part, that has resulted in a lot of the same style over and over again, very consistent style. I don't think this looks too different from everything else that I've drawn, but it is different. It just is. And I think the reason is that I used a lot more of the light blue color and overlaid that. I think maybe some of it is like vivid light blend mode or something. I can't remember which one specifically, but I think that combined with the white clouds that are around the edges, everything just feels a lot more light colored overall in this one, and a lot more subdued. I guess it's not that they're not saturated colors, but they're much lighter colors overall, not as bold as in some of the other drawings. So I think that's so interesting. I like it though. I really like the way it came out. I don't care if it doesn't match exactly with all the other ones. I think it's a good drawing still, so it stays. We've gone over this before. It's good enough. And actually, it's not just good enough. I like this one a lot. So yeah, it stays. And then, wow. Then I was ready to move on to the last drawing, which is Coloratura. That's a big one, you know, because so Music of the Spheres one, great. Starting off, great. Jumping off point, makes sense with the rocket to me anyway. But Coloratura, first of all, how do you do that song justice? Well, who knows, but I made this piece, and this one's harder because it's now reflecting back. That's the idea that I have for this drawing anyway, that it's reflecting back, looking back at everything that has come before. So all of the other drawings of this art booklet lead up to this point, and it's not necessarily a conclusion, but it's looking back. So that's why they're looking out at all the spheres that presumably we've just gone through. So it needed to feel like a resolution and a reflection rather than them looking out toward a future. Maybe it's just because I drew this. So I have that idea in my head, but I feel like I accomplished that. I think too, maybe having the one character sitting down and like kind of resting back seems more like, okay, we've just been doing a lot and we're taking a break now and looking back. I don't think it feels like looking forward. And definitely in the context of the whole booklet, I think it will feel like a good resolution. Now, speaking of these characters, I was not happy about drawing more characters because I'm getting tired of drawing humans. I guess. Maybe I just need to draw more humans in general and get more practice with it again. I think they turned out okay though. I like them. I had a lot more fun doing the spheres. Well, it was a little bit tough because of my limited color palette, and the blend modes only go so far to giving you really different styles. I think I managed pretty well to get some interesting looks, and some of that I relied more on the brushes themselves. Like I have the hairball sphere, which I really like, and the only thing that sucks about that one is it kind of blends in more with the galaxy background. I wish I could have found a way to make it a little more saturated, but if I did, it would have looked like some of the other ones, I think. So it is what it is. It's all good. But yeah, that was really fun to kind of play around with some different brushes and different ways of blending the colors together. So there's one that really stands out to me in that, which is the plaid planet, because that one I used some blend modes that I think I used the ones that I very rarely use, or I combined them with colors that I would rarely do, because most of the blend modes that I'm using are either giving me like deeper blues, purple, brighter, more not neon, but a lot more vibrant pinks, whereas this combination gave me like Christmas colors. Like took I mean, it is a red color that I use, so the red is there. But the blue, I think it was the blue that I used, or maybe it was purple. It kind of became greenish, very much more greenish. And you know from my trials and tribulations with the My Universe one that the green doesn't work for this color palette. So that one stands out a little bit more, but I like it. It's cool. And yeah, I just really like doing the spheres. It was so fun. But the characters, I mean, that was okay, but I had a lot of trouble with the hands. And especially in the character that's standing up, I had a lot of trouble drawing that left hand. I think because, I mean, in the end, I got it because I realized that it didn't make sense, the direction that I was trying to draw it in. It didn't look good because it wouldn't work. It doesn't make physical sense for the hand to be facing that direction, at least not in that kind of pose. So it worked out better in the end. Now, this character that's sitting down, you might notice in the final drawing that they only have 4 fingers, including the thumb, on each hand. And it's because I got to the point of drawing the hand and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go like Simpson style here. I'm gonna go like cartoon, and it gives it like a more extraterrestrial feel, maybe. Like, ooh, are they humans from Earth? Could be. There's people who aren't born with 5 fingers or somehow lose fingers along the way. It happens. This person was definitely born with the hands this way. That's what I imagine. But either just making it look more cartoony or whatnot, I don't know. I felt it was more interesting. And 1 less finger to have to draw. That's the real thing. That's why the Simpsons are like that, you know? So the hands, oof. Like I said, maybe I should get some practice with some more hands. Maybe I should just do a whole booklet of hands or something. Maybe I can do some animations with hands. That would be cool. And I'll share it out with you guys. Well, I don't really know what else to say. Now, they're on a sphere, so it couldn't be Coloratura, you know what I mean? But I tried to give it the Coloratura look with the brush that I used for that. Yep, nothing else significant to say about this drawing. Nothing at all. So, what's up next? Well, as I already mentioned earlier, I finished all the drawings. What? Isn't that crazy? So, I had these beautiful thumbnail sketches, one for each song on Music of the Spheres, and here I've gone and made the drawings for all of them. What? I can't believe that I managed to do it. I mean, I can believe it, but I can't believe that I managed to finish this round so quickly. It was like so slow going in the middle, and then now that I've got to the end, I'm like, yes, I'm almost done. Okay, let me just get all of this done now all at once. So anyway, so the drawings are done. I won't be doing another drawing probably. And next up will be me putting this booklet together. So I'm gonna record myself doing that too. And one thing I'm a little behind the scenes. I already started doing that because I got impatient last night. Anyway, one of the things I realized is that I'm gonna have to make a cover for it. I didn't even think about a cover, and some of the songs have emoji titles, so I think I might also try drawing my own versions of the emojis to put in there as well. And I'll probably just use the text titles for the title of the page and just put the emojis somewhere. I also have to figure out what to do for some of these, because the idea is to have each spread in the booklet will be one side is the drawing and the other side is the lyrics from the song that the drawing represents. So the reason for doing that is it matches my original Coldplay album art booklet, where I had the drawings and then the lyrics from the title tracks, with a few exceptions for Viva Vida or Death and All His Friends, Milo Zalito, Ghost Stories. But this one, well, okay, so most of the emoji title songs are instrumentals. It's just Human Heart that has lyrics. So I don't know what to do for those ones. So I have to think about that as well. So it's a lot to come still. But I should be done with it relatively soon. Honestly, by the time this video goes live, I'll probably already be done with it. So that's exciting. I'm excited to put it together. I love looking at this compilation here of all the finished ones in the thumbnail versions, because it just makes me so happy to see like, wow, look what I made. Very cool. And I can't wait to share it with you all. So thanks for watching this video. Thank you for sticking with me through this project. And I've got plenty of other things on the horizon, including doing another 3D illustration for an illustration that I made also back in 2020, my Florasona. So that will be to come. And I'm trying to learn Unreal. Yeah, so big things ahead. I'll be sharing some videos about both of those things eventually. One thing that I've learned from doing this project is that it really helps me to do multiple videos for a project, so trying to find ways to like split it up if I can, I think that's gonna help me a lot in the future, actually finishing more videos. But yeah, thanks for joining me here. I'll see you relatively soon again with the video compiling this booklet together and my final thoughts on this project. And remember that you can go to patreon.com/careboanimation to get the Coldplay album art booklet from 2020. And this one, Music of the Spheres art booklet, will go up there as well once it's finished. Those will both be free to download. So once again, patreon.com/careboanimation. You'll be able to download that for free. But of course, if you want to support me there, that's great too. Then you get to see these videos early and you get to see all of my blabbing about the projects while they're in progress, and you get to see the sketch versions of these, like sketch iterations and all that good stuff. So yep, feel free to check that out. Okay, that's it. Peace out.